Hey folks, welcome back to Cerveza City, the show where we drink way too much f***ing beer way too early in the morning. Wait a minute. That's not how we intro the show.
Leave it in. Leave it in. This is all
roll
in.
title sequence. Anyways, we're joined by Cody from Fitzsimmons Brewery in Airdrie, Alberta. Let's drink some beer. All right, give me the lowdown of what we're drinking here, just all at once.
Yep, we're gonna make our way through it. This is our breakfast lager, made with real cornflakes, true story. Big Hill Blonde, it's probably our biggest seller out of the tap room. Like, the boys here love it. This is the one we did with Toolshed. This is a Smash. This is our second one. This is Rocky Mountain Smash Quatch, which is just a brilliant name, I think. This one, Mango Fandango. It's the Cold Garden collab. That's a mango white tea wheat beer. Yeah, she's tasty. And then here, this is our ODR Cream Ale. This is on Nitro. This is our East Lake Amber. Couple awards under her belt, which is kind of neat. Nia Nia Kitty Sutato, which we thought...
Say that one more time.
Nia Nia Kitty Sutato.
Okay, I won't repeat it.
Which we thought was Japanese for Meow Meow Kitty Stout, until we had an actual Japanese person said, nah, it's basically saying gibberish. Okay. But in my mind, it still means Meow Meow Kitty Stout. This one's our Pineapple Sour, and then at the time of filming, this is our IPA number 4. Bad Generation IPA number 4, African Queen. So we imported hops from South Africa just to try it out and see what it would taste like.
Who is the Barry Piercy?
Barry Piercy is this awesome dude. We used to go together at the Loose Moose and do improv. And he just kind of wanted to start producing a comedy show. So he approached me with the idea. I thought that was fantastic, especially in a brewery. You get a bunch of people together, have a couple beers and listen to comedy. And so we agreed upon, like, the only time you ever have to pay to get in the brewery is for comedy night. But that money goes to get really good touring comedians through here. It's honestly my favorite night at the brewery. Even the people who work here, it's their favorite night because we're just doling out drinks and getting to listen to great stand-up comedy. So it's like a match made in heaven.
Now, back in January, I was on the Fitzsimmons comedy show. It was approximately minus 40 degrees out. It was disgusting, but it was a sold-out show, and I didn't consume a drop of beer. No drinking, and then I approached you to be on the show. How skeptical were you?
Quite the opposite. I appreciate the fact, like you said, it was minus 40. It was kind of shitty outside and like snowy, and you were driving, so I always appreciate anyone who doesn't drink and drive.
Was I the funniest comedian ever in this room?
One of.
Wow, very diplomatic.
You're making me Sophie's Choice it. I don't want to pick one out of everyone else.
Okay, if you had to pick one, if I was not in that list.
For me personally, and A, because he killed it, and B, it was our first show, but we had Simon King. He was traveling across Canada. Barry and I were talking about doing the comedy show, and we were going to start it, in the fall. And this guy was coming through, and he's just like, we can do this right now. Do you want to pull the trigger? And I'm like, absolutely. And Simon King came in, sold out show. This place was howling with laughter. And that was, like I said, it was the first show. So for me, I'm like, this is neat. Let's keep doing this.
Yeah, I got to open for Simon King in Canmore at a theater.
Nice.
And Simon is a killer. If you don't know Simon King, check him out. He's absolutely hilarious. Everybody knows the kind of challenges that came with any business during a pandemic. You and Toolshed in Calgary collaborated and made Smash the Curve. Did the beer help people stay home to smash the curve?
I genuinely hope so. So Smash the Curve, Shane, who works at Toolshed, that was one of his pilot project ideas. So SMASH stands for single malt, single hop. And for that one, we use raw pale and a hop called Mandarina, which has really good mandarin orange flavors to it. But the whole point with that one is we wanted to produce it on a great scale and keep the cost of it very low. And the point was to buy your beer and buy this like really good, reasonably priced beer and keep it home. So we just thought on the one hand, it was a cool idea to kind of get together, obviously at a distance, and make something, and also promote the fact that, you know, now's not necessarily time to stop drinking and enjoying a beer with your friends, but like, you know, do it over video messaging. It's so much more healthy for society. So we just felt like it was, I don't want to say our social responsibility, but like a nice little message that we could promote at the time.
Fitzsimmons' core beers have an Airdrie theme to them. Big Hill Blonde, ODR Cream Ale, East Lake Amber. People at home, ODR means outdoor rink. If you don't play hockey, I had to Google it. What has the community of Airdrie meant to the brewery?
I like to think that, you know, beer really brings people together and ties in this community thing. We're more of a communal place, a communal brand. It's about community, first and foremost. The fact that we have dope-ass beer is almost like a close second. And that's one of the reasons I felt so passionately about opening a brewery in Airdrie. It's a really tight-knit, really cool community. And so it's just kind of a way of being like, hey, let's get together, have a beer, and talk about what's happening in our little neck of the woods. And so the names really reflect that.
Can we quote you? We have dope-ass beer. Cody from Fitzsimmons.
Yes. We have dope-ass beer. Wait. We have dope-ass beer.
And I agree, they have dope-ass beer. Tell us about Fitzsimmons Breakfast Lager.
So the Breakfast Lager was one of those, I guess, like Bob Ross style happy accidents, because we were the beer sponsor for a major event. And we had our blonde there, the amber, we had the sour IPA, we had a bunch of beers. But you know, a lot of people are still unfamiliar with craft beer. So we got a lot of, oh, we'll just get the lager. And we didn't have a lager. And so we feel like it's kind of our responsibility to be like, oh, I think you'll really like the blonde. It's not necessarily lager, it's an ale. And those same people would turn around and be like, oh, I'll just get a rye and Coke. And I'm like, we're losing out on sales. So after that event, I came back and I just wanted to brew what I thought would just be the like dumbest, easiest lager recipe, and just like put something together just for fun, just to put on tap. And the day we went to brew it, I decided to put some corn into it, because I think a lager should have, you know, just a little scooch of corn to give it a little something extra. And where do you get corn at the last minute? You go to Superstore and you pick up cornflakes, PC brand cornflakes specifically. And so we brewed this beer, and then we really, really, really liked it. So we've been producing it ever since, but the breakfast actually comes from the fact that we use cornflakes in this beer. And because, you know, it's not a huge part of the grain bill, but it does add a little something extra to it. We haven't changed the recipe. We still go to Superstore, clean them out of cornflakes every time we produce this.
Now that you mention it, I can actually taste the cornflakes, and I just want to say, take that, tricks. Now at Cerveza City, there's a decent amount of work that goes into pre-production and discovery and journalism to really find out what's going on with the brewery.
Journalism.
That makes sense to me. Shut up, Cody. Listen.
Go on.
One of the things we do is go through Google reviews, and I'll sit there and I'll read all of them. And if anything sparks my interest, we bring it up. I'm gonna read a review that was given to Fitzsimmons. It said, word for word, exactly as advertised. A pizza pop is a pizza pop, not a pizza pocket, which makes me happy. Pizza pockets are for prison cells. Pizza pops are for great breweries. fucking what?
So, great question. That was actually a follow-up to another Google review.
Oh.
So, being a Class A tap room license through the AGLC, we're required to have so many both hot and cold food items. But being a brewery, we're not a restaurant. We don't have a chef on hand to whip up some chicken wings. So we were able to develop a very simple menu that allows us to have this license and also comply so that people can get something to eat. And one of those things is pizza pops. And who doesn't love a pizza pop? But I think one of the misunderstandings that we have is some people come in and assume we're a restaurant. So the Google review that actually refers to was someone who gave us a 1 star because they didn't like our appetizer menu. And it was just one of those ridiculous things where I believe I responded back to that one. I don't tend to respond back to reviews, but I'm just like, hey man, some people like pizza pops. All joking aside, we're a brewery, not a restaurant. What do you think of the beer? And then of course I got no response. So that was another customer. Like up on the little menu board, we have, this is a pizza pop. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's microwaved. And I think it costs like a couple bucks. And you get like pizza pop and chips and like pickles. It's really fancy. And so someone asked us like, why do you have to explain what a pizza pop is? We told them that story, and then that brilliant soul came up with that amazing review. And that makes me laugh so hard every time I hear it.
I read that review and I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I am so happy I got to hear that story. Who would have thought pizza pops were the topic of such controversy?
It was one of our biggest controversies when we first opened. Like,
pizza pop controversy.
What kind of food is this restaurant serving? No. Beer.
Can we name a beer pizza pop controversy?
I feel like you might have to put some marinara and cheese and pepperoni into that beer. But I mean, like, yeah, possible.
We can make it work.
Yes. Let's start with like a 20-liter cask and work our way out, though.
I'm just saying anything for a good joke.
Fair.
Fall and winter beers. What is Fitzsimmons coming out with? Are you allowed to discuss it, or are you allowed to tell us what we can look forward to?
Yeah, I could show you what's happening behind the scenes. The big one, the next one is, so on the West Coast right now, they're making these beers that are like NEPAs, where they're super hazy, super like big and robust beers, but instead of hopping, it's fruit. So I picked up a schwack of orange, cherry, and raspberry. That's all going into a single beer. Tons of rolled oats, so I'm going for like a super thick, hazy beer. It's probably gonna pair really nicely with the lager because all those fruits, it's gonna be like having your glass of orange juice in the morning. And that one I'm looking forward to.
That wraps the interview portion. We're with Cody from Fitzsimmons. They're officially Cerveza City certified. Can we get a clap for Cody? Can we? Senor, that camera right there, the last 60 seconds are yours.
Well, thanks for coming down and having a chat with me this morning at this ungodly early hour. Really appreciate it. The big thing is, if I can say anything, is that Airdrie, we're definitely developing into a craft brewery community. Like we talked about, we got Fitzsimmons, we got Balzac, we got 948. It's turning into a destination. I definitely recommend people pop up here safely, get a designated driver, find the one pregnant girl in the group to drive you up here, and check out these breweries because, you know, it's our own little slice of life. It's pretty close to Calgary, but we kind of exist on an island here, which is really dope, and it's a really great community with places to see, lots of great restaurants. Yeah, it's a fantastic place. And other than that, check for our cans. We do a lot of canning around here. Should be in any good liquor store that you happen to find yourself at. So, cheers.
One more big thank you to you, Cody, and the entire Fitzsimmons team for being on the show. Next week, we're at Troubled Monk in Red Deer, Alberta. Be sure to check that out. Thank you so much, Cerveza City Squad, for tuning in. Adios.